This is T.Y. Jackson.
United States Women's Champion Chelsea Green.
How you doing, people?
And I love pro wrestling.
I love pro wrestling.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to the Brunch Clinic. I am Lawrence Kurtze. We are live. Another big week in wrestling, as yesterday was AEW Wrestle Dream.
Hi, I'm Maxine Dupree.
And I'm Otis.
Hi, I'm the Sweetest Pete, Christara.
Mars, the specialist.
And I love wrestling.
And I love pro wrestling.
And we
love wrestling.
Bottoms up, brains on. Welcome to Quizplex here on Love Wrestling, your pro wrestling trivia charity show. My name is Zach Ralph. I will be your host.
This is God's gift to wrestling, Michael Richard Blaze.
We are the Usos.
This is Rachel Ellering.
And we love wrestling.
And I love pro wrestling.
And I love pro wrestling.
Hello, Love Wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
Well, you better know by now. It's episode 235 of this thing.
I guarantee you there's like an 85% chance that's not an accurate number.
Hi, this is Shaz McKenzie.
This is Big Bad Boris.
This is the Rhinestone Cowboy, Stephen Crow.
And I love pro wrestling.
And I love pro wrestling.
And I love wrestling.
If you're here, thanks for being here. It's for Exposure, Love Wrestling's Independent Weekend podcast, where we break down all the best happenings on the world of the independent wrestling side.
I'm Penta. I'm wrestling. And what?
Liza Hall.
I'm the alternative Anthony Green.
And I love pro wrestling.
And I love wrestling.
And I love wrestling. I love wrestling. And you know what? Pentacero.
That's called scanning, kids. It is 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is time for a excitingly fun, I hope, episode of Saturday Night Love. My name is Big Ben Boris.
I'm Big Ben Ortmans.
Hi, this is Smiley Patty Ray.
I'm Pia Sky.
And I love wrestling.
And I love wrestling.
And I love pro wrestling.
Of course.
Hello, Love Wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadians and boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Hello, Love Wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
Judas is back.
Was that your
Chris Judas? Chris Judas,
yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
That's what it means, right? No. Okay, maybe
yeah.
not. He's back. It's not an April Fool's joke.
No.
Anyway, why don't you tell the fine folks what it really means?
It means that it's another new episode of Between Two Beards, and we got a big one this evening. We see a lot of new friends in the chat because we got someone we are very excited to have that we're going to be popping on here momentarily. But yeah, we got Big Dog in the chat. We got the Dylan Sean in the chat. Rebecca in the chat.
David's in the chat. Maj. Scott's in the house. I think the boss is even here. Peyton's in the house. Like Rebecca, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
The boss says, "What a heck of a hat, JPJ." I've wore 75 different hats on this stream, and he's never complimented my hat once.
Yeah, it's a great.
It is a great hat.
Listen. Yeah, it's a great hat. It's a great hat.
I know. I need to bite the bullet and just buy it because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but it's one of. I'm usually not. I'm a very old-fashioned individual, Pluggo. I'm not one of the guys that likes, when they come out with a million different jerseys and uniforms and stuff. But when the Red Sox released the greens last year, I immediately was like, that is amazing. Like I'm in love with them immediately.
Fair enough. But we also got Keisha in the house. Should we waste any more time? A lot of these people are here to see our guest, unless you want to talk about anything before we bring them in.
Cue them up, babe. No, you do the thing.
All right.
I'll cue them up.
It's going to be a little bit of gimmick infringement from his buddy Kyle Wells, but I ran wild with this dude at the Squared Circle Expo. He's been asking me when we're going to let him come on the show. He's sick of Wells Mania getting all the spots. So we finally made it happen. The one, the only Stone Payne is in the house.
Welcome.
About damn time.
It is. I think it is. I agree.
This just became the greatest episode of Between Two Beards you have ever produced.
I'm hoping we can listen, Hey, if you guys want to make sure that it is the greatest episode we've ever produced, make sure hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to leave a super chat, we'll guarantee that your question or statement gets read on the air. But we're super psyched to have you, brother.
I'm psyched to be here. This is going to be fun. And by the way, did I just hear you say Wells is my buddy? Did you not see what I did to him? I
saw it, but maybe he frenemy type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, the son of a.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that to him? I don't even think he knows about it.
No, from last I heard, he's in concussion protocol somewhere. Which I did the world a favor.
Wow. All right, listen.
Wow.
Pluggo, see, you're riling up the guest off. He hasn't even been on the screen for a minute yet, and you're riling him up.
I was on the Wells Mania podcast a couple weeks ago, hyping up the Squared Circle Expo, and you were on it, and it didn't seem like there was much animosity there, so I thought maybe everything was fine, and it was just maybe I thought I was imagining things when I saw what happened.
Look, honestly, a lot of it came from that whole Bachelor thing you guys tried to pull. That's where it all stemmed from.
Wait, what is hold on.
So we tried to find Stone Payne love at the expo. We figured, he could bring some roses and give them out to girls that he, was interested in, and find himself Mrs. Payne.
I didn't find that, but I found a wet floor sign to hit Wells in the face with.
Hell yeah! Sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands.
No, that's better than love.
Big Dog over here says nobody likes Wells. I think I like Wells. I like Wells Mania.
You would.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow.
I didn't realize it was going to go this way already.
Listen. Hey, it's all right. You got to let it out. Well, you guys last weekend went to a big event down in your neck of the woods down there. Obviously, I did not attend, but I saw Pluggo's wonderful content from the weekend and stuff like that, and I've seen a bunch of our other friends and stuff that was there. So I kind of let you guys kind of dive in and talk about your experiences of the Expo last weekend. It looked like it was a lot of fun. A lot of wrestlers from all over the globe were there. Looked like it was just a really good time. Obviously, violence aside from
there was a lot of violence.
I assume there's more that we'll dive into. I think, Pluggo will mention some more that didn't maybe go in your favor, Stone. But I don't know who wants.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah,
I want to know, Stone, because I know we in the whirlwind that was this convention. We talked very briefly about it, but how was getting to meet the one and only Rodzilla, dude? Like, I know we talked about it for a minute, but like, could you after you finally decompressed from it all?
It was awesome. I mean, he was so cool. And it's funny is like waiting in the line for that, everybody was saying like, oh, he's not going to talk. He's not going to say anything.
Remember that, yeah.
And then I got up there and he immediately started talking to me. So, maybe it was the shirt I was wearing. I don't know. I had a Bash at the Beach shirt on that he popped for, but no, he was really cool. Bash at the Beach is one of my all-time favorite WCW events. So getting a chance to meet Rodzilla was awesome. The whole weekend was fantastic. And, you know, fun aside, me and Wells, we had a great weekend. We got a lot of good content. You know, me and him have been running wild at this thing 6 years in a row now. I would say that this year might have been the best of all the squared circles. You know, yeah, maybe it was because you were there. I don't know. Yeah. You'd have to ask the expo.
But shout out to Dylan Sean for the super chat, my friend. Thank you very much, brother. Well,
see, look, awesome. I bring the super chats with me.
You bring them with. We appreciate it. We got to keep these lights on. I don't think it had anything to do with me. But as a seasoned veteran, what do you think? What was it that made you think that recency biased, or you're like, this was just the best?
No, I think that it gets bigger every year. You know, the first year it only had really 2 rooms that were being used. The main room with all the people selling stuff. And then that back room where Cross and all those guys were, those were kind of the 2 rooms. And then it's grown ever since then. The names just keep getting bigger and bigger. And then just the experience that comes with it. You know, the last couple of years now, they've had things other than just the meet and greets. They've had the costume contest that me and Wells have had the privilege of hosting the last 2 years. They've had legends on the stage doing telling stories and stuff like that. So it just gets better every year. And I think that the cast of talent that they had this year was very good from top to bottom.
Yeah. It looked like it was a very full, a lot of people there. And I know, Pluggo, you only went on the Friday, and we were chatting a few minutes before, and Stone said the Saturday is like obviously the all-day affair of the weekend. So that, but you looked like you were running around like a madman on Friday, getting a bunch of stuff done, Pluggo. And this was your first time.
Yeah, this was the first time. So, I don't know why I didn't. I should have just locked in the Saturday. I only went for the one day because I'd never gone. Obviously, I kind of felt like I was going to have a good time, but you never know, right? So, like, I never know what was getting myself into. I definitely should have went Saturday, but that was part of that objective. Like, I was like, I know I'm going to be here for this amount of time. Let's try to make the best of what I have available. And I had a great time. I've said it on a couple of other occasions. Like, I couldn't do it without Stone and Wells. I know you guys are beefing, but showing me the ropes and DC and all those guys, you know, showing me like navigating that thing, the in your house guys, like they made me feel like I was a seasoned veteran just for my first day. So
it's it's funny as you say we're beefing, but I mean isn't that what friends do is beef? I'm sure JPJ would love to hit you in the face with a road sign.
There's been a few occasions.
We had that
buddies do.
None recently. We had that talk last week too. Everybody tries to drive a wedge in between us.
Listen. There will be no barbershop window moment here between us two. That will not occur. That will not occur.
That's what he says.
They always say.
That's what. Yeah, but that means that I'll be.
That
the
is
one
what
going
Shawn
through the
Michaels
barbershop.
famously said. We're good.
Yeah. Listen, whether you choose to trust me or not, that is your choice.
But we've been together for 5 years now. Has there been some times where but I think that's part of everything. But overall, I don't hope he doesn't throw me through the barbershop window.
No.
Was there anybody at the expo, Stone, that you didn't get a chance to roll or do anything or talk to that you wanted to?
I mean, there's always people. There's always talent and people that I would like to get to that you miss out on. Like Saturday, I would have liked to have gotten to Lita. I didn't get a chance to get to Lita, but I did get to Trish. So nice. About fainted when she touched me, but that's besides the point.
You and everyone else, from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, come on. For a lot of us,
it's Trish. Everybody. She's like everybody's first crush. I mean, that was on the poster behind her.
Yeah.
So
I just like, ma'am.
But like,
But
no,
but overall it was good. You know, I interacted with everybody that I really set out to interact with. I was thrilled to finally meet the Big Show. You know, Paul White, he's been on my list for years to get to meet him. I know that he's been on Wells's list too for years to meet. Trish, obviously. The whole weekend was spent also trying to find Wheezy Blonde, which is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
But finally happened. Pluggo somehow found her on Friday. I don't even know if she was there that day.
Listen, I've had the privilege of covering 2 or 3 events with Pluggo. And that's the one thing is like we'll talk about a little mini plan of what we're gonna do, and we get to this place, and if I move my head in the wrong direction for 5 seconds and turn around, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's somewhere. He's somewhere flagging down someone and recording something. Like he just has that mindset and that thought where I'm more like, all right, I'm like more of a calculated, like let's stand back and figure out what we're doing, and then we're gonna go in and do this.
See, that's how I am. I'm methodical with it.
Yes,
with Wheezy,
Pluggo's like, let's fucking go, man. And I'm
all right. That video I made with her, that's AI. That's an AI Wheezy. I was messing with you the whole time. No, I just honestly like kind of like JPJ said to an extent, and I think you could probably attest to this too, is like we all kind of talk about things that we want to do, right? And there was things that we didn't get to do Friday that we had discussed doing, but you get into that situation and things just kind of, you take the opportunities as they kind of come to you, because you just, like you said, you never know when that line's going to get bigger, what's going to happen. So like, honestly, pure happenstance, I kind of just ran into Wheezy at like the perfect time. We like, cause I was lapping that room like a crazy person, and then like ran into her and was like, hey, you want to do this? And it just happened. She was talking to some kids already. And I was like, perfect. Let's rip these cards and like give them to these kids that you just talked to. So it all kind of worked out for me. But yeah, then I know you saw her you found her Saturday. So there you go.
Yeah. She was all over the place Saturday, but no, that's why like on the last episode of Wells Mania where I told you, I was like, look, the best plan of attack when you get into this thing is almost don't have a plan of attack, because you don't know what's going to happen. You may turn the corner and there's the Big Show standing there and like randomly interrupts an interview you're doing. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like I said, you know, you and me were both standing there when the Road Dogg decided to give us a private match. You know,
you turned around at the concession stand and there's Road Dogg just dancing because they had music playing in one of the hallways. And he just go to town. You're like,
and what's funny is like I was live streaming that and clipped it, and that clip of Road Dogg just randomly doing that ended up being my most viewed video of the entire week and the expo. You know, like I got like 25,000 views. It was crazy. You know, so you just never know what's going to happen.
I just happened to walk by when that guy was getting shot by Brody King and happened to pull my phone out and take a video of him. And then Mick Foley saw what was going on and he just randomly jumped in and hit him with the mandible claw. Yeah. And that was mine. I was like, that was my most viewed video. I was like, holy shit. Like, you just never know. That's why I just kept going in circles. Cause every time, even though you've seen the rooms 100 times, there's different people each time. There's different things going on always. And like I said, there was so much more that I think I wanted to do, but that's why I came up with like the cards when I was at work that day. I grabbed these cards and I go, I'm not going to be able to prep for like an interview, right? Cause I might not be able to get that, but I bet you if I like went to a Chris Van Vliet and said, hey, I got these cards. Why don't we rip the pack and see who you've interviewed? And then we'll just give them away.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be like an easy way to get some content with people that I respect and I love, and also not have to overly prepare for something that may or may not happen. Right. Because at the end of the day, worst came to worst. If I didn't get any interviews, I was giving out packs to kids. I should have kept some of them. I'm sure some kid pulled the 101 that would have paid off my house, but
probably. And
he probably has it in the bottom of a shoebox right now or whatever. But hey,
you got to wait for that yard sale, bro. You gotta wait for that yard. That's what
you'd be like, some random dude gave you this pack of cards.
Yeah, no, it looked like a lot of fun. It looked like something that maybe next year I might have to find my way out your way so the beards can take over.
Yes,
man.
That would be that might be a plan in place. It looked like a lot of fun. I was very happily going through FOMO.
That's why I went. That's why I went on Friday, because I was like, I'm gonna miss out if I don't go to this thing.
Yeah.
And then just like Okada bumped into me, like just the most random like interactions, and like part of the fun too was like I got to go up to some wrestlers that I've just loved my entire wrestling fandom and just shake their hand and tell them thank you. And like I had a really genuinely nice conversation with like Kylie Ray and Buff Bagwell. You know, we talked about sobriety, and I'm not going to share the full conversations, but it was just something that touched me, that their inspiration to me. And like those are just cool moments where you can just walk up and like just shake, like everybody that wrestled that loved pro wrestling, like Willow Nightingale. I told her, thank you for coming up and being a small part of Love Wrestling and helping us, you know, be where we're at today. And Kylie Ray, who's wrestled for us, and so on. Like, it's just a really, and all of the wrestlers were very chill. They were very laid back. And, you know, if you catch them at the right moment, they're even more open and laid back and chill with you. So like, I suggest like JPJ, like we should absolutely plan next year to do it together. And anybody that's thinking about going to these things, like go have a good, as long as you're respectful and you're nice to them, they're nice to you. And it's just like a very chill room. Like everybody's kind of there to get theirs, but they're also there to help you, you know, do what you got to do. So like, I didn't have a tripod set up because I didn't think that was going to work. If I like, hey, wait 5 minutes, let me get set up. And then, you know, then the line, people in line would just film that for me. So I'm, you know, forever grateful to those people as well.
Yeah. And, you know, you never know the connection that you're going to make with even some of the wrestlers, like crazy things. Like I was just walking around the expo, and the Atom Bomb, we all remember Atom Bomb, right?
I love Atom Bomb.
Yeah. Dude came up to me and was like, hey, I know you. You're that Stone Payne Productions guy, from TikTok, the content creator, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And you know, he's like, yeah, I watch your stuff. I love your content. And I'm sitting here going, Atom Bomb knows who I am. This is nuts. Yeah. You know, this is crazy. Like I watched you when I was little, you know?
Yeah.
And then even, you know, we might as well talk about it. I know you're wanting
Hold
to show
on.
a picture.
I do. You know, you could set it up, but I want to know, you got the chance. Let me set it up. We'll do it proper. Okay. Like I'm a professional or something.
Are you hitting the button or am I hitting the button?
I'll hit the button because I got it right here because I'm ready for it. You had the opportunity to interview Killer Cross. I'm sorry. I said his former name. But you got a chance to interview Killer Cross, and there was a bunch of people. It was a fantastic interview. I'm not going to steal your thunder on the interview, but I got to ask, what was going through your mind when this happened? Look at this face right here from Stone Payne. Like, can you break that down for me?
The thoughts that were going through my head was, oh shit, not again. You know, because I've felt that before. I have felt my vertebra pop before. Because he's no small man. I mean, you saw that his bicep was almost tearing his shirt right there. He's got a Mount Everest on his arm, you know.
Listen, and I don't want to be that guy, but that was the only thing. The pants were tight too, and I was like, you're Killer Cross. You could dress like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know. But hey, that's another example of you know, good friends just randomly beating the shit out of each other. You know, me and Cross are boys. And that's like the third time he's put me in the Cross jacket. I'm pretty sure that's his sick, twisted way of showing love. You know, if it wasn't some sort of affection, he probably would have just broke my neck right there. But I'm still here. I'm still breathing. So
don't worry. I didn't show the part where you tapped like real quick. Like right after that, you're like, I'm out. Well, listen, I don't no disrespect.
I wouldn't have probably lasted as long as he even. I would have been immediate.
You know, that was another situation for me, just taking everything in awe, like watching you do that interview and conduct that and be able to have that like moment, like in the whole room is just like I look over, I'm like, oh, to so-and-so's interviewing Killer Cross, and then all of a sudden you get choked out, and everybody's just like, what?
I mean, and that was shocking to me, you know, and I really didn't. I was so invested in the interview, it really didn't hit me until the interview was over.
At least didn't pop your neck out.
Hey, he almost did the last time, so that's why I tapped so quickly. But you know, realizing that, like, I mean, after the interview was over, I looked around, I was like, man, there was like 30, 40 people standing around watching that.
The room stopped. Like, I don't know, because when you get in those interview moments, and we've all been there, you're kind of laser focused on what you're doing, but you don't take a time to look around. And I was in the crowd. I was like, Jesus.
And that was one of those really cool special moments where I like, and then when the whole weekend was over, I sat and I reflected and I was like, I think I may have gotten the biggest publicity stunt interview of the entire weekend. I didn't see the room stop like that for anybody else's interviews that they were doing, and I don't want that to sound like I'm bragging. I just like, it's crazy that happened. But, and I'm so thankful to Cross for giving me that interview. You know, luckily he likes me and gave me the time to do that. And I'm going to be in Vegas in a few weeks for WrestleMania. So I'm going to be in the front row when he faces Zilla Fatu at a Violent Night in Sin City at the Luxor. And he told me, he was like, hey man, he's like, I'll look for you. You know, I'll come over to you when you're in the front row. We'll make something happen. So Cross is a great guy. He's scary, obviously, but he's a wonderful guy. So is Scarlett. You know, they're both fantastic.
Yeah. They seem like
he's hit another level in terms of like, when he got on his way out of WWE, like he was starting to get that momentum, but then he has figured out a way to keep it going on the indies and kind of like evolve what he was doing. And it's just every time I walked into that room, because his table was right in the doorway, I always looked over to see what he was doing, because you kind of never knew what he was going to say, because he's just got that vibe where you're just like, anything could happen at any moment with this guy, and he's killing
Obviously.
it. So,
he's attacked me twice, you know.
Listen, it sounded like, you didn't let go of the handshake. You should have let go of the handshake.
I tried to walk away, and then let's just mention the fact that I called for security. You know, and
put the picture back up. Put the picture back up. Look at that security guard back there. What's he doing?
Look at that guy.
He's getting paid.
Security.
Listen.
I was yelling for security, and that guy's just looking at it, letting it happen.
He's getting paid, that guy.
I gotta be honest with you both, though. Let's be real here. Just us guys. I don't think that guy got paid enough to get in between you two. Listen,
that guy had to
get
know
my paycheck or end up in the ICU. Like, which one do you want, man?
Don't take the gig then. I don't know what to tell you.
That's fair. It's true. It's fair arguments on all fronts.
You know, that's like you see the security guys on Raw every week, like that guy that Oba Femi probably broke his hip on Monday. The guy was getting paid for that. He knew that he was not going to take on Oba.
All right.
But he's getting paid, but is it worth the dollar amount?
Not what happened to him. That dude's hip
no.
Was
yeah, there's no way that guy's ass. He woke up and his ass was killing him. That was tailbone hip first. He landed on the ground.
That was rough.
Dylan said best interview. Well done. So I don't know if he means best interview you've ever done or best interview from the Squared Circle Expo, which I'm going to take offense to that because I had a couple too. No, yours was awesome. I just opened Packs of Cards with people. I did get to talk to Shasa McKenzie, which was a lot of fun. She is an absolute gem of a human being. I got to chat with her afterwards. Like we went and had a drink at the bar, and like just listening to her talk about that, she's fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, best interview, huh, Stone?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I'll take it.
Hell yeah, dude.
So We are going to talk about a little WWE because I do want to talk about WrestleMania. We're only a few weeks away from WrestleMania. We are very close, and I feel like WWE has really ramped it up here the last few weeks.
You mean Monday they threw seven matches?
Yes, yeah, but I think the last two Raws have really ramped it up. But Monday's Raw specifically in MSG was a big time ramp up to Mania. And then we're going to talk Stand and Deliver is this weekend, and you are going to be in attendance.
Yes,
so we're going to
preview.
So we're going to preview that. We're going to talk about that, which I'm looking forward to as well. However, Pluggo did mention it in the intro. He did a terrible guitar. Awful.
I do more of the slap of the bass.
Slap of the bass, man.
Slap of the bass, man. Why do you sound Irish?
Last night on AEW Dynamite, which was in Winnipeg, the hometown of not only Kenny Omega, but of one Chris Jericho. And Dynamite started, and there was pyro going off, and then Tony Schiavone started to talk, and he got interrupted immediately with that song Judas hitting. And Chris Jericho, after all the speculation, people thinking he could be in the Royal Rumble, thinking he was in the box. That was
Saturday night's main event.
Everyone, Jericho's gay. He's going to WWE, and I was one of them. I think maybe some of us were at one time or another. Chris Jericho back in AEW didn't do much. He just said, "Hey, Winnipeg, like I'm home. AEW, I'm home." Got a good ovation, hometown. Wearing purple, as you can see from our background, a favorite color, Roz. So, I mean, wearing the purple. But Chris Jericho is back in AEW. I personally won't really judge it until I kind of see what he's going to do. Because, like, I'm not, again, is there a need for Chris Jericho in AEW? I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. However, if he's under contract and he wants to go, if they use him right, I don't think it hurts at all to have Chris Jericho on your television show still at all. But
I will judge it.
Okay.
All right.
From an AEW standpoint, yeah, it doesn't hurt at all to have Chris Jericho on your TV set. From a Chris Jericho standpoint, I think it's the dumbest decision he's ever made in his entire career. And that's because, like what you just said, you don't think there's anything for him to do there. There isn't. There's nothing left for Chris Jericho to do or accomplish in that company. He's faced everybody that he can face that's worth anything. He's won every title that he can win there that's worth anything. He's been in every type of match that you can have there. I mean, what is left for him there other than what I guess one final match with Edge, possibly. But like, other than that, I mean, there's nothing for him to do there. And at this point in Chris Jericho's career, I feel like the better option would have been to actually come home to the WWE, have one final run before his retirement, and face a lot of these up-and-coming stars that will one day be headlining WrestleManias, like Gunther and Braun Breaker and Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, and Bronson Reed. I mean, there's so many more names that would have benefited from Jericho coming back to the WWE and that would have benefited Chris, but instead he decided to take Tony's money, which I guarantee you is what happened. Tony Khan didn't want him going back to the WWE, so he opened his pocketbook and offered him an insanely large sum of money. And, if I was Chris, I'd probably take the money too. But,
probably a lesser schedule, more money.
Yeah.
If you, again, I do agree with you 100%. Like, besides some of the newer guys they've kind of brought into the company in the last year and a half, like you could talk me into a Jericho and Speedball Mike Bailey match. That could be fun. I haven't seen, there's a few of them, but he has wrestled all the big names before that are in AEW. So it's not like there's some big new match we haven't seen Chris Jericho have with anybody on the AEW roster. Whereas if he goes over, I mean, I know we've seen it, but like like you just named a whole bunch of them, like Javon Evans and Chris Jericho at some point or something, like things like that. And I still think that eventually, like, I do think Jericho's last run will be in the WWE and he'll get his WrestleMania thing in the Hall of Fame and that whole jazz. But I don't know, maybe he's not. Maybe WWE was like, hey, we'll bring you in for a year, whatever, we'll do this, or just for this Mania. Maybe he's like, I'm not ready yet. I have a couple more in me, and it just, I don't know. I'm trying to think maybe AEW offered that to him as well, like a longer,
I hope that one day he does go back to the WWE, and a lot of people are going to say I'm tribalistic by saying this, but at the end of the day, to me, it's just a fact. People can love AEW, and it does have it's probably the second largest promotion, but at the end of the day, that is still what it is. It is the second largest. The WWE is still the big time. It is still the peak. It's like the difference in playing in the Super Bowl or a college game. The WWE is the Super Bowl, and at this point in Chris Jericho's run, I don't understand the decision to not want to go back to the biggest stage you possibly can go to, and which was also the stage that, fans fell in love with you on.
That's fair. Yeah. I was under the assumption he was going to go back there, Pluggo. That's where we talked about it for months here about what was going to go on.
He even alluded to it.
Yeah.
He was that, and that was the only reason I was like, maybe he's not. Maybe he's throwing us off the scent because that would be a Jericho move. Hell, I still think that maybe this was the April Fool's joke, was that him showing up on AEW television on Wednesday, and he's still out the door, but he was just like, let's just mess with him because it's my hometown and it's April Fool's Day. I thought it was MJF trolling us at first, and then I thought it's somebody screwing with us because it was April Fool's. That's how committed I was to him leaving. Mm-hmm. I do think you're both right. I do think he is going to end up in the WWE at some point and do the swan song. I just don't know if he's ready to give it up. So maybe that's part of the reason he's like, I can still do my Fozzy dates. I can do my Jericho cruise. Tony Khan's going to pay me this money. I can have matches I want to have. And then when I'm ready to hang it up, I'll do the run. Gunther can retire me and 2027, 2028, whenever he decides to finally call it, because he's getting there. He's getting up there. He's been doing this thing since the 80s, late 80s, like 89, right? Something like that.
I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think Jericho is going to cost Kenny Omega the title at Dynasty. That's what I think.
Whoa.
That's what I think he's going to do, because I think MJF is hanging on to the title I think MJF loses the title at All In to Ospreay. I think that is where we build to in London, and I feel like that's the build to that. And I'm thinking, what's a big match at Double or Nothing in New York for Kenny that's non-title and stuff like that? And I feel like most people would think him and Jericho running it back in AEW one-on-one could be a big match for Kenny. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah,
wild to see him back.
It is. We'll have to see what happens and what he does, but I do think eventually he does end up in WWE. I mean, that it just feels right that he would end his career there. But I guess we're gonna have to wait to see how long that's going to take before he gets there.
Well, okay, so before we dive into the other stuff, now that Chris Jericho's back in AEW, who's that big return who's the net? Because you know what I mean? They're running out of people to get like, oh, he's coming back or he's coming here. Like, WWE's got out of returns.
I guess. I mean, we're supposedly going to get some sort of return or something on SmackDown this week. We're going to find out who Randy Orton's been talking to on the phone.
Oh yeah, who is on that phone? Well, guys? In the chat, let us know who's on the phone with Randy Orton, who your guesses are. Also, keep hitting that like button. Keep hitting that subscribe button. All the super chats are welcome. You guys are the best.
Let's yes, you guys are the best, and great chat so far tonight. So keep it coming. But let's talk about that because Raw, in Madison Square Garden, opened up with Cody Rhodes. He shows up. He says the WWE champion was not certainly going to miss a Raw and the home of WWE, MSG, and all this. And we get Stephanie McMahon.
I'm just glad the Brand to Brand Invitational's back.
You know, Stephanie McMahon's music hits. She comes out. Cody's like, "What the hell are you doing here? What is this?"
I think we all said, "What the hell are you doing here?" We love Stephanie, but
I'm never going to complain. And look, hey, I still think, man, Stephanie is still one of the best mic workers in the company.
Yeah, she's great.
I think
great.
Still, she never gets the credit she deserves for being able to tell a story on the microphone. She's one of the best at doing it, and she proved that again on Raw.
Yeah, she did. You know, so Cody's basically like, "What is this about? Like, you know, why are you here?" And she goes, "I want to talk about you and Randy." And she goes into it. She says, "You know, I when I used to come around this building, she mentions Andre the Giant. She mentions Dusty. And she goes, you and Randy are both multi-generational talent." And they go into it. And she goes, "But I don't think you can beat this version of Randy Orton. I don't think you have it in you, and you have what it takes to do what is necessary to defeat this version of Randy Orton. And if anybody knows what this version of Randy Orton can do, it's me," which is obviously true. We remember the segment with Triple H and her, and you know, in the ring, and Randy was a savage, an absolute savage back then, and he's kind of tapping into that now with this version of the character. And she goes in, and then Cody responds, and he goes. And this is where, you know, he goes, "You want to talk about fathers?" He goes, "I'm not mine, and you are certainly not yours."
A Vince reference.
Couldn't believe it.
A Vince reference, which was that supposed to be an
my
insult?
jaw dropped.
Yes, I was like, and not in a good way either. I was like, oh, we're doing that? All right, cool. But that happened. And the crowd obviously is, they're all going crazy. And Steph slaps him right across the face.
She put some extra on it too.
She did. She was a good slap.
That was a good one.
And then as she's going to leave, Cody friggin' whips her around, grabs her. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, wait a minute. And then Cody leans in and he says, "I got 2 words for you." And the crowd, obviously, on cue, yells, "Suck it," as they should. And he says, "Thank you." And then the crowd boos, because what a bullshit response that was, Cody. What the hell was that? "Thank you."
Tough love. Tough
Just
love.
slapped you right across the face. Anyway. But yeah. And that was the opening segment of Raw. Could not believe they referenced Vince. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty decent segment. I thought it was kind of a weak end for the thank you. I mean, I think the crowd said enough. You can't do that shit in Madison Square Garden. Come on now. You know that crowd. What you know they're going to eat that shit up. Not in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was, I mean, that's Cody though. That's him being babyface Cody, you know. Yeah. But I thought the segment was great. I just feel like now it's got to tie into something. It's got to make sense. Otherwise, why have Stephanie show up? You know, so
I thought Shane might be coming out.
I was going to say, could it be Shane on the phone?
Shane could definitely be the individual. My only fear is I feel like it's going to end up being someone that's lackluster because they're going to reveal it on a SmackDown. And if it was going to be someone huge, like Shane or The Rock, you know, I just feel like the reveal would be happening at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're now teasing that it's going to happen on SmackDown in St. Louis, I don't know. I feel like we're going to be sitting there waiting, and it's going to, I mean, no offense to him, but I feel like it's going to end up being somebody like Cowboy Bob Orton or something.
I was thinking Arn Anderson, maybe.
You know, or somebody like that. And like
Arn Anderson with his block, though, that's
yes,
if
they allow it. It's Netflix.
And cool. Like, that's cool that those guys, that they're going to be on there, but that's not going to draw the attention that someone like a Shane or The Rock or somebody like that would be that everyone is now expecting because you've introduced this into the storyline. And I feel like if it's somebody lackluster, what's going to happen is the fans are going to turn on it and say, well, this whole mystery angle was not needed in this storyline to begin with. You could have easily just told the story of Cody and Randy, mentor versus student, and Randy turning into the dark side because of his lust to win the title back. Yep. So you didn't need this extra part of the story unless it's going to be someone where people are going to be left going, holy shit, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
And again, this is one of those things where it's an intriguing element to the story, but unless they kind of put yourself in a corner if you don't have something is the juice.
It's got to be somebody that, because they're trying so hard to get Randy to be the heel in this scenario because people are itching to boo Cody. It's got to be, if they want to continue down that path, it's got to be somebody that draws heat. That draws a lot of heat. Yep, it's going to have to be a heat seeker because that was the whole crux of the Stephanie promo, was trying to get Randy over as the sadistic one in this. But everybody is ready to go. We're ready to boo Cody. Somebody asked in the chat earlier, do we think Cody's turning heel at some point here?
I've heard that for 2 years. I got to see it to believe it. You know,
right?
I hate to say this, and my brain is telling me no, but my heart's telling me yes. Randy becomes a Paul Heyman guy. That could be interesting. That'd be a
Spencer with the heat.
I want it. The only guy that I can really think of that would draw the heat and make Cody cheered is the same guy that's been able to do it the last 2 years, and that's The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Every time The Rock shows up, he makes Cody Rhodes the biggest baby face in the company because that's how good The Rock is. He, as that character, as the final boss, especially after last year, will draw heat, and people want to boo The Rock. So if you want people to boo Randy and cheer Cody at WrestleMania, the final boss is the only character that truly makes sense, because anybody else that shows up, whether it's Shane, even if it was Vince, if Vince showed up, people are going to cheer that and cheer Randy and boo Cody. So it's got to be someone that draws heat, and the only mega name that can do it would be The Rock.
We both, I can't believe I'm going to ask this question in 2026. Is that what % chance do you guys put on Vince McMahon? I mean, I'm starting to see his name get mentioned more. He was outside taking pictures with fans. Like, tell me they're not going to do that in the midst of all this Janelle Grant trial stuff.
I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, I would say it's a 60% chance you do see Vince again on WWE television.
That would be not. I mean, listen. It is. That would be a bad. I would hope it's 0%.
Now, I'm not saying
he's
going to be used, like brought into like the board and stuff again. But as far as appearing on WWE television at some point, I think that it's more likely than not.
We got
another big super chat from Dylan said, "I'll continue the story with Rock. Only option. The only option is The Rock."
And there's unfinished story there until that
story
is
they did kind of do the I want to take your soul and then never revisit,
you know, and the perfect explanation for that. And I know everybody's still pissed about last year how The Rock didn't show up at WrestleMania and the whole John Cena thing never got covered. You can still finish that story. All you have to do is have The Rock show up and say, look, I made a mistake last year. I picked the wrong guy. And that was proven when he started feeling his emotions and went back to being Super Cena. And what happened? He lost the title to you. Well, now I've corrected that mistake and I picked someone who has no emotion. I can't take Randy's soul because he doesn't have a soul to begin with, which is why he's the perfect option for me.
Yeah. Do we think that Friday night could be one of those things where it's a tease? They say we're gonna find out who it is, but we really don't, and then it's happening at Mania, and it's like, okay, Now
do that.
this level of this is bigger now because it's at Mania.
I think you could do that.
Yeah, and I think this will main event night 1 would be my guess. And if it is, okay, well, I mean, a big time moment at the end of night 1 of Mania, if The Rock shows up and costs Cody the championship and Randy wins it with The Rock, I mean, it's a big moment. It's a huge moment. So
it would be a huge moment. And hey, as of right now, The Rock's schedule's free. He just finished filming Jumanji. He's got nothing going on.
They made another Jumanji.
So yeah, they just closed filming on it.
Third one, maybe.
I think so.
So you know, I mean, he's open. And the thing about The Rock, and this is what everybody's got to remember: The Rock despises having like negative heat on him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like it. He likes to be loved. So, and there was so much bad, aura surrounding him after last year's WrestleMania that knowing The Rock, I feel like he would want to correct that at some point because that's just the way he is. He doesn't like being not liked.
He does it when he has to, but yeah, for sure. And is this the time Jumanji 3 instead of Jumanji?
Jumanji 3.
Spencer's wiling in the chat today.
He is.
Speaking of legends that are coming back, John Cena is hosting.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little discourse that people were a little upset that he retired and he's coming back this quick, but he's only going to host. He's not going to do anything physical. He's not going to wrestle. He might have a moment of like some kind of interaction with somebody. Do you think he AAs a person or something? Or is he just there to say, welcome to WrestleMania and move on? I'm okay with it.
He's going to be there and he's going to be the host. I say that's the perfect opportunity if The Rock does come back at WrestleMania to have John Cena get involved.
Mm-hmm.
What if The Rock shows up and tries to help Randy Orton and then John Cena comes out and gets in The Rock's face and then Cena eats an RKO or something?
Not on my hosting watch there, Rocky.
There's still a pathway to finish that story without having John Cena get in the ring and wrestle. And also, yeah, people saying that, look, the IWC complains about literally everything, these are the same people that like, you didn't want John to retire, but now that John's going to be at WrestleMania, you're complaining about him being there.
Yeah.
You complain about the ticket sales, the ticket prices being super high. So what does WWE do? They give you a bunch of discounts and now the price is dropped for WrestleMania, but then you start complaining about that, saying that they're desperate because they're dropping prices. Well, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah.
The prices to drop?
Yeah.
All they do is complain.
Yeah. There's people from all
Maria, welcome to the chat, by the way. She came in late. Maria's one of our longtime listeners.
Yes. How we doing, Maria? Welcome in. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna have to find out. As of right now, I know we are a couple weeks away still, but who do you see winning that match with Cody and Randy? Do you have Randy? I'm leaning Randy winning the belt.
I think it's got to be Randy.
Right.
I think you have to give it to Randy. I don't see a world if Cody wins, it will solidify him getting go away heat, and you don't want that. You don't want people to turn on Cody for the wrong reasons, and him retaining would be for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I think, and again, like you said, we have been hearing it for a year and a half, 2 years about the Cody heel turn eventually. I think at least in this moment, it feels like, and I know Randy's been doing the heelish stuff the last couple weeks, but I think there's an opportunity here that this is the closest point where you could do a Cody turn and it would work, because I think the crowd is kind of a certain section of the crowd, and a strong section of the crowd is ready, I think, to boo Cody.
Mm-hmm.
They're already kind of, some of them, but I think they're ready to boo Cody. Randy's kind of gone to the level of attacks and stuff, though, that it might be, but I don't know. I thought it should have been Cody. I thought Cody should have turned at Mania in the match to retain the title. I think that would have been... They kind of go in as like a respectful, mentor versus student, like you said, but it's respectful and it's all right, cool. And then Cody, it looks like Randy's going to turn into Randy during the match, but Cody kind of does it first. to keep the belt, and it's like, oh shit, Cody fucking punted him or did something crazy. And then it's like, oh shit. And then Cody's like, well, I knew he was going to do it to me, so I did it for, and then you kind of could have went that route. But I don't know. I'm a Cody guy. I like Cody, but I'm ready for Cody. I'm ready for heel. There's a lot of young guys on the roster now that Cody should be that heel kind of gatekeeper-ish guy where he's the champ and all the young guys are going after him, and he's the Ric Flair of this generation when Rick was in his prime, and he's just beating all the young. I just feel like I'm ready for that Cody.
There's no doubt Cody would make a great heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think the moment has to make sense.
Yeah.
So and in WrestleMania you could do a double swerve. It's just, why does the double swerve happen?
Yeah. It's true.
To put butts in seats. So to put the butts in the seats.
Yeah.
To fill every 18 inches of that arena. Cody's been, it's just, you're watching what they're doing. They're trying really hard, and they don't have to. Randy normally doesn't have to go to these levels, but like I said last week, I said, what's left that would get Cody to take over the edge should be, he's got to have to go after Cody's family, like Brandy and stuff, right? Because that's where his best friend Cardona, all this stuff that Stephanie said, whoever they're bringing in, like if they want to keep piling on the heat with Randy to the point where it's just like full blown, it would be amazing. And then
RKO'd Brandy.
Right? Like Brandy even tweeted, like when Stephanie came out Monday, she was like, do I need to show up? Like, because of some of the stuff that she's saying. So like that is, and I know that it seems crazy, but they've done it with Sami Zayn and with KO. They've done it, Pillman, Stone Cold. They've done it in the past.
Just
Randy's broken into houses, I believe.
Yeah.
Who was that?
It's Triple H broke into Randy's house.
That's right. That's right. We also, we had the Samoa Joe Wendy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not a far-fetched thing that they could do.
Just recreate the Triple H Stephanie sequence with Cody and Brandy, where Randy's got Cody handcuffed to the ropes and he RKO's Brandy right in front of him.
Yeah.
Not our queen Brandy Rhodes. Don't do that to Brandy Rhodes.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, because that would be the only place then where it's like, okay, they went there. Now Cody has a license to just go to that next level, because I know he struggles with it, especially with Randy.
Now here's the question. I feel like when the Cody heel turn happens, it has to involve like I'm going to go back to The Rock. It has to involve The Rock. It has to involve Cody selling his soul. I mean, that's been the whole plot for 2 years now. Yeah. Is him? Will he sell out to the corporate regime?
The corporation.
You know, and if Cody is left with literally nothing left, all of his friends have betrayed him. He's got no friends left. I mean, is that the time to finally do it? Like, what if Randy Orton's not talking to The Rock? What if he is talking to somebody else, like a Shane McMahon? But then behind the scenes, Cody Rhodes decides to make a phone call too, and it's to The Rock.
Yeah,
hey, I need, I'm ready to do this. I need your help because this guy's getting all this kind of help. So, I'm ready to put a price on my soul.
I would love that. Pluggo.
Yeah, Mrs. Pluggo. Hi, honey. The love of my life. She's in the chat asking if she could have a pigeon. What the hell is going on upstairs right now that you are thinking about getting pet pigeons? What are we doing here? But I love you.
Mike Tyson.
I acknowledge my tribal cheeks there.
Yeah. Mike Tyson had pigeons.
Why do we need pigeons? Why do I need pigeons? What am I gonna do?
I don't know.
With pigeons?
I don't know.
What are they gonna do? What do pigeons do? Pet pigeons, like what? We can't take them for a walk. I can't. What are they, like kites? I put them on a string and let them fly a little bit, then I bring them back in. Like, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. I think they just know where they live in the coop, and they just find their way back.
How do I know that that's my pigeon and not some rando pigeon crashing my coop? I don't know.
Exactly. You never do. It's all chance.
Anyway, corporate Cody, the corporate Cody champ.
Listen, that would be. Oh, I would be. Yeah, he would be a corporate champ for The Rock, because The Rock was the corporate champ. It would just be in the line of, it would be great.
And I'll ask, and then we can move on from him. But like, do you think The Rock ever wrestles again? Do we see the final boss have another match? I say yes.
I think we at least have one more.
I always say yes.
I don't know.
I never say never in wrestling. So yeah, for sure.
But I just feel like that Elimination Chamber last year cannot be the final time we see the final boss in some sort of physical capacity.
Could we see like a Cody or like a Roman? I could see a Roman Rock match happening proper at some point. Like, just
I think it has to happen.
It's got that definitely for sure.
To me,
she said she went down her rabbit hole and said they're so pretty.
Yeah,
okay.
They were.
I'm very pretty too,
They
Mrs.
were,
Pluggo, but you don't want more of me.
She did also say in the chat that they used to be used as war messengers, and that is true. They're smart. They can track, and they would put the little notes in them, and they'd get to where they need to go.
Whatever she wants, she can have. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just.
I think to answer that last question, there's two matches. It's him versus Cody, and it's him versus Roman that I feel like need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those would be if he did him and Cody first to kind of actually finish this story at some point. You do that, and then I think his retirement match would be him and Roman. Would be my guess, and he puts Roman over finally, and then it's all right.
Yeah.
And he goes, but that would be
if he goes off and makes Jumanji 4.
There we go. Or Moana 6 or whatever it is, however long.
Tooth Fairy 7.
There we go.
What is it? What is the best Rock movie?
That's a tough one.
I mean, it's Moana, the first one.
That's okay.
We're counting animated stuff.
I was going to say that has to count, right? That's in the arsenal. Because if you're talking like on-screen acting, I didn't see the UFC one that just came out because people liked his performance in that. I didn't see it though.
I'm still loyal to the old stuff like Scorpion King, Walking Tall.
Okay.
Walking Tall was good. I liked Walking Tall a lot. I also liked what was it when he was in the sequel to Get Shorty? What was that movie when he played the security guard? And he was really funny and charismatic. I forget the name of it, but but Walking Tall was a good one. I think maybe of his early starring roles, that might be the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was the what was the one with Stifler?
That was
the
Rundown. The Rundown.
Rundown. Was that the Rundown?
Yeah,
that was a good one.
It's a good one too. Sean William Scott, sorry, but he's always going to be Stifler to me. I don't care. If I met him in person, I'd call him by his real name. But if I'm talking about him, he's Stifler. That's who he is. He's Stifler.
I bet that guy just be walking down the street. People like, Stiffy, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, come on. He's known like that, or he's the guy in Old School. You got a dart in your neck. Anyway. We saw new tag team champions on Raw.
Yes.
Logan Paul is a champion.
Yeah. The Vision, Austin Theory and Logan Paul defeated the Usos in a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vision are new tag champs heading into WrestleMania. I assume
you're glossing over the biggest part of that match. What do y'all think about the Usos' new theme?
I don't mind it.
It was all right. I started off, I was like, what the hell is this? But then it kind of went into the Uso shtick, and I was like, all right. I thought their old theme was an all-timer. I didn't think you needed to change it. But
yeah.
I think the old theme was too similar to Jey Uso's current theme. So they were like, we need to give the Usos something a little different because they were coming out to Jey Uso's song half the time because it was just like, yeah. So
I tweeted it out. I said, you like in coaching, you don't want to be the coach that follows the legend. You want to be the coach that follows the coach that followed the legend. I think the disdain for it was because it's coming right off the Yeet movement. So you're like, well, they're never going to top that.
Yeah.
So I guess give it time. It was crazy. They did. They absolutely did lose with that new intro.
Well, in the match. We saw.
I got problems.
I'll let you go because we had LA Knight get involved. iShow Speed was out there, even though he didn't want to get involved the whole time. He sure was kind of caught in the middle of a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
He's front row. First of all, he's backstage. He gets interviewed, and he has been cursed already a few weeks ago by Danhausen, by the way. So he has a backstage segment with Danhausen where he's going, hey, man, you need to reverse this crap. My life has been a living hell since you cursed me. And Danhausen's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. He goes, you want to give me the rights to your stream and your fans and all your money and your stuff like that? I'll reverse it and, whatever. But so he ends up front row. At one point, Logan Paul's getting the crap kicked out of him. He goes over to grab the brass knucks, and he kind of hugs ISHO Speed. He brings him over the railing, and the brass knucks fall. ISHO Speed picks up the brass knucks, and LA Knight is out there at this point, kind of evening the kind of getting involved, evening the odds a little bit. And LA Knight, not trying to attack ISHO Speed, goes to he taps ISHO Speed on the shoulder and goes to grab him a little bit, and ISHO Speed turns around and he wallops him. And then that causes the distraction. Vision, new champs. We getting a 6-man tag at Mania with ISHO Speed and the Vision versus the Usos and LA Knight. That's what we're doing, right? They're doing that?
I guess, but why do we need that? Why does ISHO Speed? And I get it. Celebrities have always had a role at WrestleMania. There's been celebrity matches all the time. Mm-hmm. But why does ISHO Speed need to be wrestling at WrestleMania? I mean, for one, it's basically a handicap match. Mm-hmm. Why would the Vision be okay with that? Why would they want to team with a YouTuber who's 120 pounds versus the Usos, possibly the greatest tag team ever, and LA Knight? Mm-hmm. They're at a detriment there.
Yeah.
Why would Paul Heyman even agree to that?
He has been training.
I
got a fundamental problem with how this match even was. LA Knight was out there being like, I'm here in case shenanigans happen. And I can't believe I'm defending the Vision here, but it was a street fight. Mm-hmm. The brass knuckles were completely within the rules that were set. So what are you doing out there, for one? Also, he's like, I'm just here in case the only members of the Vision that are left were in the match, so there's no one else. Mm-hmm. And he got knocked out by ISHO Speed. That's kind of on you, LA Knight. It just was weird to me. And could we see a scenario where they don't do the 6-man, or LA Knight faces ISHO Speed?
No, I think you would have to do it in 6-man form to protect.
I would imagine so, but it was really clunky how that kind of came together, in my opinion. And then I was like, this is what we've got for these guys. That's fine. I'm happy that they're getting the spot on the card. Another super chat from the Dylan saying, in his opinion, they're doing LA Knight dirty. Do you guys think LA
Knight dirty for a while?
LA Knight's been done dirty for a while. But the thing about it is to me, this would have been why not just do the tag team title match street fight at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
That would have been bigger than having some random 6-man tag. The tag team titles should be the prize, not a grudge match with a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And the way it's looking right now, it seems like neither of the men's tag team titles are going to be defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So,
which doesn't, I don't know how every title that you have in your company is not defended.
It's really unfortunate too when I have to think about who the SmackDown tag team champions are for a minute. That's how bad it is. Where I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Because they don't put stock into it like they should. No. And then, I get it. Getting ISHO Speed on the card, if that's what you want to do and get the numbers in, that's great. Again, you said celebrities, Jelly Rolls, probably he's going to have a match, I would imagine, too. So it looks like we might be getting 2. But I wish they would have came up with a way, you're right, to have the finish happen and then have the tag team championship match happen at Mania. That would have made more sense. And I think you're right there. But I don't know. I don't know why we don't, because like you said, WrestleMania should be the blow off to the feud, and then the Raw after Mania is the start to the new. Instead, it sounds like we're going to grudge match this thing, and then what? We'll probably get a Vision Uso match, at Backlash or something, maybe. So they'll keep it going.
Yeah, probably.
It's not like they have any other tag teams ready to go on Raw.
to me, this whole match and this whole story seems like something they shoehorned together just to get LA Knight on the card because they had nothing else for him. Yeah. So they're like, well, what can we do with LA Knight? I don't know. We have nothing for him because the people that he was feuding with, the Vision, are all injured. So, well, let's just bring in Ice Show Speed, and instead of doing a tag title match, we'll have it be a 6-man tag. Yeah. Like, I feel like that is probably the gist of the creative meeting that went down to book this match.
Yeah, most likely. One match that has been booked for a little bit now, which, in my opinion, far and away has been the best build to WrestleMania, is Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. And I think it's, it's wild to me that the match I'm most excited for heading into WrestleMania is the Lesnar match in 2026. But this has been tremendous, and Monday night was another great segment between these two guys. Heyman and Lesnar comes down, and Lesnar is in his wrestling gear. He is no shirt, in his wrestling gear, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, right. he's bobbing. He's ready to go.
And Heyman gets on the mic, and he says, Obafemi, we're ready. Lesnar's here. He's going to show you what is exactly going to happen to you at WrestleMania. He goes, he's dressed to fight. And then what we get is a rare moment where Brock grabs the mic from Heyman, and he just looks towards the ramp, and he just screams, Oba, get your ass out here. Let's go. I'm going to kick your ass. And he throws the mic, and Lesnar does not talk. We know this. He rarely speaks. And I thought that once he did that and spiked the mic, I was like, whew. I was like, all right, here we go. And Oba does not waste any time. Lights
he did his strut though down.
Oh yeah. You got to. Listen, guys.
Here I come.
I have not seen. It's crazy that he's fighting Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar is the perfect guy for him to be fighting, and he should destroy Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the most part, in my opinion. But he is so over so quickly that I think this is the quickest I've seen somebody rise like this since Brock Lesnar in 2002.
I agree. I mean, he literally just debuted on the main roster not but a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And now
it's insane.
He's facing one of the biggest names in pro wrestling history at WrestleMania, and it's the best build on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, every time these guys, for 3 weeks in a row, they've gotten holy shit chants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And say what you want about Brock. A lot of people give Brock a lot of flack, but I mean, Lesnar is putting Obafemi over like crazy. When it's all said and done, Brock Lesnar is going to make Obafemi a star.
Yeah.
100%. He's already done it.
Yeah, he's already done it on the way. Like, just everything about Obafemi from really the second he showed up in NXT, and we're going to talk about NXT in just a little bit here, but everything about Obafemi, they have nailed 1,000%. Like, and he came up to the main roster, and he's just one of those guys that you see, like the first time we saw Brock Lesnar, where you see him, and the first time you see him, you're like, that's a different kind of dude. That's a different kind of guy. And the presentation, the music, and right away, the crowd was doing the ooh during the song, and they're doing the walk, and they're chanting his name like they chanted Goldberg's name.
My overstrut is not as good.
But it was immediate. And it was like, okay, like I joked around the first time he came out to answer Brock. I was doing a watch along on my channel, and I was like, give him the championship tonight. Like, why do we wait? Like, just give him the belt tonight. And that's where I'm at. Like, this guy needs to be championed by SummerSlam to me. Like, it's
it was a good, because I said last week, I was like, how many weeks are we going to just see Oba ragdoll Brock? We got to do something different because you kind of have to break that up. And I think they did a really nice job of like having Triple H and everybody come out. And the way Oba threw Adam Pearce, right? That's a new wrinkle to it too, right? Like, we completely glossed over the fact that Oba just like, that's a Brock Lesnar move. right, to put his hands on him. And Oba's like, fuck it, I'm doing it. So I think they did a really nice job of like protecting Brock, still making it, and then breaking him up. So we still have that anticipation of like, can Brock flip the switch and can he figure out Oba? And now Oba's got to deal with Adam Pearce. I would imagine there's going to be some kind of conversation about it. So I really enjoyed that spot. I thought that was a good one.
All I know is the security guards working that spot got some major bump pay that night. I mean,
who tweeted out they deserve a contract, at least a tryout immediately?
Yes, I saw that. Somebody tweeted that out. I mean, the one guy Oba Femi threw broke every bone in the lower half of his body. Yeah. And then Brock Lesnar F5 that one poor guy. And I mean, all his ribs had to have shattered. He bounced like 5 feet after he hit the floor on that F5.
Yeah, it was quite
incredible. I think what they I don't know. I think we've talked to a few people that have done extra work for WWE, and I think like, you know, whatever that stipend is for the day, and you get to, you know, eat the catering. So hopefully that shit was worth it, man. Hopefully that was the best catering they've ever had, because that bump, like when he took that, I was like. And then there was a picture. Somebody tweeted out a picture. They were in the crowd and they had floor seats. And if you've ever had floor seats, you know how hard it is to see the ramp as they come up. And that guy had cleared the ramp and the seats by like a good 4 or 5 feet. And that was just a great shot. And I was like, whoo!
Yeah, and he's landing on like there's no
give there, dude. No give.
That's
more power to
concrete.
I mean, exactly. Like that. You better had a like.
You wrestled. You know about them bumps.
If you know you're taking that bump, you're putting extra padding in your ass, right? You're putting extra padding in your trunks or some shit. Like you have to.
I don't know if he knew he was going to take that. I think Oba
That's true.
Like,
Oba might have just done it.
I'm going to throw this guy, and wherever he lands.
Damn, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So later on in the evening, we have Paul Heyman. Says he's going to make his way out to the ring. He's going to address Seth Rollins. He comes out. He's talking about the new tag champs from doing that stuff. He's talking about Brock and Oba. And then he insults Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce gets out there, basically tells him to shut up. He goes, "Hey, I've tried to tell you a couple times. Did you check your email
Who the
this
hell
morning?"
checks their email?
And that was a Heyman's response was like, in the year of 2026, who the hell is checking email, bro?
Yeah.
Who's checking email?
Full stop. Right now, how many unread emails do you have in your inbox? Put it in the chat.
8,000. I'm going to say 8,000.
8,000.
I'm going to say 8,000.
How many?
I will screenshot how many I have after the show. It's going to be bad.
That's why. And listen, that's why I understand where Paul Heyman's coming from, dude. You want to get a hold of me? Email is probably the worst thing you could do.
Yep. Well, Adam Pearce goes, "Well, then you don't know the news, but the Boston Police Department has dropped all charges from last week against Rollins. He is a free man. And also what you don't know is Seth Rollins is cleared to compete." And the crowd goes crazy. Seth Rollins' music hits, and Seth Rollins appears behind Heyman in the ring, and he gives him the chair shot, the good old-fashioned shield right in the back. Chair shot to Heyman, and Heyman's kind of cowering to the corner, and Seth is sizing him up for the stomp, and we see
9,000.
Wait,
Dylan said he just checked
9,000. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be around that area. That's a good over/under for me. I would probably take the under,
clear that
inbox,
my guy.
It's not by much. It's not by much. And as Seth is gearing up, we see Seth get dragged out of the ring, and it is by Gunther, who is choking Seth. Yes, choking Seth out. And he puts him out on the announce desk. He chokes him out, and then he points at the WrestleMania sign. And we find out it's gonna be Seth Rollins and Gunther. Everybody has been speculating for it feels like a month and a half. What the hell is Gunther gonna do at WrestleMania? He retired AJ, retired Cena. What is he doing? And now we find out that it looks like Heyman has done some business with the man, and it's gonna be Seth and Gunther. I have kind of a long-term thing, but just in general, Stone, how'd you feel about the segment on Monday and finding out that obviously people are waiting for Braun Breaker. There was rumor that he might be cleared, and that was going to be the match. If he still can get cleared, maybe he shows up at Mania and helps Gunther beat Seth. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But how did you feel about this ending up being the match for both these guys at WrestleMania?
I loved it. I think it's the perfect avenue to go down. Actually, like on my channel, I pitched this exactly a couple weeks ago because I thought, what else is there? Both of these guys' roads to WrestleMania have been stricken with injury, you know. Like both of the guys they were supposed to wrestle are out with injury. Seth even got injured himself. So what else was there other than to put them against each other? And Gunther wasn't doing anything. He wasn't in a rivalry. He beat Dragon Lee, which was the last feud he was in. He literally had a clear schedule. I mean, it made all the sense in the world to put them together. And now they're going to have probably the best match of the entire weekend. I mean, if the thought of Seth Rollins versus Gunther does not excite you from an in-ring perspective, you're not a wrestling fan. I mean,
it's fair.
Gunther, I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. Gunther, pound for pound, is the best pro wrestler on the planet. The man is incapable of having a bad match. You know, I defy anybody to go out and find me a bad Gunther match. It's impossible. And Rollins,
no lies detected there.
Rollins is one of the best. So I think, you know, anybody complaining about this, they're like, oh, it's just happening so quick. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, though, because there's more story that can be told after this, and you're going to get an amazing match. And we've still got a few weeks. So, you know, everyone that's like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Well, give them a couple weeks. Maybe it'll make sense. Out.
Yeah.
You know, it will not shock me in the slightest if next week Paul Heyman comes out and was like, guess what? I did check my email. I knew that was happening. So what did I do? I went out and I found myself a career killer. I hired him to deal with my Seth Rollins problem, and that's exactly what he's going to do at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And not every build has to be a 6-month slog story. Like, it'd be like you said, we got two guys who are just
a business arrangement.
And not only that, like you said it, they're two of the best in the world at what they do. They also are two of the best, like, big time match guys too. Like, they always turn it up even just a little bit more, so you know it's going to be awesome at WrestleMania. You know Paul Heyman will figure out a way to spin it. You know Seth's got some stuff to say. Gunther doesn't have to say much because his work kind of speaks for himself, but he'll have. I think when we looked at it, and I think that was the knee-jerk reaction, was that this is a bad thing. As I look at it, I don't see how this is a bad thing ever, anywhere, because Gunther has to do things other than career kill, but you can, like you said, tie in Paul Heyman wants to end Seth Rollins' career. Let's play that angle up where he's going to try, but also Gunther needs to have matches with guys that just aren't on their way out the door either. So it's a great thing for everything. And Seth has to be on Mania if he's cleared, and if Braun's not ready, it's perfect. I thought people got really weird about that
for no reason.
When, like you said, we still got 2 Raws left.
Yeah, we have 2 Raws. Yeah,
2 Raws. You could tell enough in that time, and then you could keep this thing going if you want.
And then, like, you brought up like the career killer thing, and I saw a bunch of people being like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." You know, what is Seth Rollins going to put his career on the line? That's not like, well, no, he's not. And just because he has this gimmick, the career killer, doesn't mean that every person he wrestles is going to have their career on the line. The career killer, in my opinion, is a long-term gimmick.
100%.
He when the timing is right and he sees the opportunity to retire someone, he will take it. That doesn't mean every person he faces is going. Yeah, exactly. It's going. I mean, you could have the career killer gimmick be like a 5 to 6 year storyline where, you know, maybe one person a year, 2 people a year, he somehow gets the opportunity to retire them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the career killer.
Yeah. And, you know, if Braun Breaker is indeed close to returning or being cleared, which some people are saying, like, there is a way where you can kind of get to where you want it to go. And you have this match, you know, at WrestleMania. These two are going to absolutely kill it because they're two of the best in the world, like you both said. If Braun Breaker is cleared to go, like I said, Braun could show up and help Gunther take out, like, you know, spear Rollins out of nowhere, and then Gunther puts Rollins away. And then you have your Braun and Seth match, and you can build to a big one at SummerSlam or the next pay-per-view, wherever you want to do it. And then you have the other aspect of Gunther being like, all right, Paul, I did your dirty work. I beat your boy. You owe me a favor. My favor is at SummerSlam in his hometown. I want to retire your boy.
Yeah. I was just about to pitch that. You read my mind.
That's what he does. And it's like, okay, so now you have two premier matches that you've been
set your whole summer up.
That's it, man.
Yeah, four guys.
And that's a way for Gunther to get that match. And that is how you keep the career killer thing going, because he ends Lesnar in his hometown, because that's what Gunther does.
And let's be honest, Paul Heyman is not against stabbing people in the back. So why
100%.
wouldn't he make that deal? You know, if he's like, yeah, I'll make that deal. I'll give you Brock at SummerSlam, and we'll work the contract to where Brock's career's on the line. You know, I mean, this whole thing could just be a way for Gunther to get his next career to kill.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And if Lesnar's coming off a loss in like 5 minutes or less to Oba, Gunther's like, you're washed up, buddy. Like, I'm done. I'm ending you. Yeah. Look what happened to you at WrestleMania. You're done, bro. And it's over for you. Mm-hmm. And I got this. I helped out your boy, and I did what he did. I did what he needed me to do, which you couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And you can just build to all that shit. I actually think Gunther would be the babyface in that scenario, honestly, but it would just be, and it would be Gunther and Brock, which is a match they have had in their pocket for a while. That I think that is
what a weird vibe to be just cheering on somebody killing a dude's career,
brother. That would be the first. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the first one where the crowd would be like on Gunther's side.
Yep. I think it depends on how you build it. You know, if you do it to where Heyman betrays Lesnar before SummerSlam, I think that people would. You can still play off the fact that Gunther retired John Cena, which is endless heat for the rest of his career, and just bill it as people want to see Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of this guy who retired John Cena.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then there were other things that happened on Raw. Raquel Rodriguez and Io Sky had a good little match. Kofi and Penta had a good match for the IC title. That was a good one. But we go to the main event segment. Once again, CM Punk and Roman Reigns are in the same building, guys. The same building for the 6th straight week. I'm just kidding.
Under one roof.
I thought this was a good segment.
Under one roof, I tell you.
Yeah.
They haven't been before.
So Roman makes his way out to the ring. He asks for the New York crowd to acknowledge him. But CM Punk comes out. His fists are taped. He's ready to go. He's not slowing down. And they just start going at it. They just start brawling. The time for talking is over after what we saw last week. They're going back and forth off the ropes. Roman hits a Superman punch. Punk kind of turns him around, throws him to the floor. They go back and forth on the desk. Reigns is going face first off the desk and off the post. The referees and security and road agents kind of make their way to the ring. There's people everywhere. It's chaotic. They're still going at it. Roman looks like
Punk beat the shit out of that guy.
Well, Roman looks like he's going for the powerbomb again through the table like he did the previous week to end the show in Boston.
Then he got all weird.
But CM Punk slides out. And then Roman looks like he's going to take a spear, and poor Petey Williams just gets smashed with the spear. And then Punk hits a GTS, puts Roman through the table, and Punk leaves riding high this week.
Flipping birds and high-fiving people.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Like that.
Yeah,
like you're 47-year-old. You're 47-year-old there, Punk. You're acting like a 12-year-old. My kids do that shit.
Yeah, he was giving that fan some crap there, but I thought another good segment, more violence. Punk getting the advantage this time, as Roman did last week. Kind of answers Roman's call. I've been a fan of this feud since the beginning, but I feel like the last 2 weeks have felt more like the first couple weeks and not those kind of 2 middle down weeks a little bit. I thought that this was really good. I am excited for this match. This is going to be the main event of the weekend, obviously. I'm still very much intrigued about how the Usos side of this story kind of goes, because I actually thought that week with Punk and the Usos was one of the better segments of this feud. And I want to lean more into that.
I show Speed is going to take care of the Usos.
I was going to say, and Jay being the one last week that called the shot and Roman listening to Jay, I just think there's some juice to that I want to find more about. But I thought this was a really good segment, Stone. I thought this kind of ramped me back up to being like uber excited for Roman and Punk.
I agree. I think that this has been, one of the better builds. I mean, both of the main events I think have had really good builds this year. Mm-hmm. I think this build has been a little bit more intriguing than the Orton Cody build, maybe just because it's been happening a little bit longer.
Yep.
I do agree with you. I think this will be the main event of the weekend. I think that Cody Orton headlines night 1, and I think this headlines night 2. I also think that mainly because they want that world title to eventually get a night 2 main event, and who better to give it that than Punk and Roman? Something is going to happen at the end of this match. I do think Punk retains. I think Punk retains the title.
All right.
Because I think night 1 ends with Orton winning the title, and then I think, and you see that comment there.
Yeah, we got Dylan Sean with another super chat saying the Rock cost Roman.
Now imagine that happening. Imagine night 1 ending with the Rock screwing over Cody, and then also coming out and then screwing over Roman the next night.
Just setting a blaze.
And then at SummerSlam, you get the Rock and Randy versus Roman and Cody.
Like that would be
a tag team match.
Like wild, you know. If something like that went down, if The Rock had an impact in both main events.
What if he created a faction and it was him, Cody, and Punk?
You could do that. That would be interesting.
And they were the two champions, and Rock had them had both champions under his control, and you would have Cody and Punk that went heel.
The Rock Collective versus,
or it would be Randy. It wouldn't be Cody. It would be Randy. Yeah, eventually Cody, but I don't know.
Would that mean we get Triple H assembling his boys, and The Rock and Triple H are managing?
That's what War Games is for next year.
But we're setting it up early this year.
It's why
get the ticket sales in early.
But I agree with you, and I want to hear what you think about this, Pluggo. But I agree with you. Like, it feels like something big has to happen in this match. Yeah. Like, I don't think that this is just going to be a clean one-on-one match and somebody's winning. Like, there's going to be some sort of CM Punk has been talking shit about the Samoans dynasty the whole time. Like, he's just been like downplaying not even just Roman, but the history of the family and we should ask
for Kishi about it at the expo. He was there.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you're a Punk guy, Pluggo. He is your guy. Stone says he thinks he's retaining. I was actually leaning the other way. I thought Roman was going to take it.
I don't have an answer right now because I don't know where to lean. But I will say that I do agree that something crazy is going to have to happen here, because I think that they want this WrestleMania to be just the most talked about thing. They want it to be successful. I think they're going to pull out a lot of stops. Would The Rock be there? We do this every year where we say The Rock's going to show up. Maybe this is the one, but I do think that there's something brewing that we're not thinking about right now. And I actually had Roman winning up until Monday, and now I'm like, maybe it is Punk, but that's been the best part of it, is it's been back and forth.
I think everybody goes to The Rock because there's still so many plot threads that make sense for him to be connected with it. That's why everybody goes there, and Roman versus Rock is still one of those big threads that everyone wants to latch onto. So that's why The Rock is always going to be in the discussion until he just comes out and finally says, "Hey, I'm retired. You're never going to see me again."
Which I don't think will ever happen because I think he loves it. I think he loves the chatter every year.
I agree. I think he absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
And I think that the chatter, like what we're doing here, is part of what makes him decide to come back if he wants to do it. He likes people to talk about him, wanting him to be there. Now, whether he actually shows up, that's another debate. But I do think something happens at the end of this match. Maybe it's an Uso heel turn. Maybe you get the Bloodline reunion or something, and the Usos come in and turn heel. I don't know, but I agree with you, JPJ. I don't think this is a clean finish. I don't think either of the main events have a clean finish.
I don't either.
Maybe it's Travis Scott. Just kidding. Fiend.
Doubt it. Don't bring that up.
I will say this is the first year that it doesn't feel like we're forcing The Rock into these things. Like, it does naturally make sense.
It does.
Yeah.
There are years where we're like, let's cram him into this somehow.
Yeah.
But this year it makes sense.
My thing is like, and that's why like you said, I'm intrigued about the Uso element to this, because that segment with Punk and the Usos, when the Usos just wanted an apology. They didn't give a shit what he was saying about Roman. They were like, dude, you don't get it, man. We just want you disrespected one of our elders. Mm-hmm. We just want you to apologize for that. We have no problem with you, and we don't care. You and Roman, that has nothing to do with us. We don't give a shit. And Punk was insulting, but Punk was also saying things that were true. And he was saying he never apologized to you. He gaslit you. He treated you like shit. He's still the same guy, which he is. He's never changed. He's never apologized to anybody, Roman, even though he's a good guy now. Never changed who he is, not fucking 1 ounce. And he's nothing. Yeah. Hasn't apologized for a damn thing. And everyone just ran back to him. Annoying. And I think over the next couple weeks, I don't know if there's going to be a segment where maybe Roman snaps at the Usos. I think there's a layer where the Usos need to look at each other a little bit, and they got to go, yeah, we love Roman. He's our guy, but Punk was fucking right. Punk was right. And I think that needs to be, Pluggo's turning on the dryer. Turning on the dryer.
Sorry. And I'll turn it on.
It's a nice soundtrack. Nice soundtrack. I just think there's a layer you can dive into there. Like, I'm just intrigued. Yeah. Like, could the Usos walk away from Roman in this match, and that's how Punk wins? Or I don't know. They've been leaning heavily into Roman not being able to win anything on his own. So is this the time where he actually does win on his own? I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of in the middle of where
I guess
it goes.
My thing there is like, yeah, but then what do we go to after that? Because Roman's not going to work a schedule to where he's around all year to defend the title.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think he's going to win this match. I think Punk will be around. I think Punk likes being around.
Yeah.
So I think you get more out of everything if Punk does retain, but it's not going to be clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to see. All right. This Saturday evening.
You're going to be there.
St. Louis, Missouri. Are you just going for Stand and Deliver, or will you be at SmackDown as well?
We're driving up tomorrow, so there is a chance that I could do SmackDown. I'm going to play it by ear. If I do go to SmackDown, it'll probably be like a last-minute ticket purchase.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it is just Stand and Deliver.
All right. Well, we do have Stand and Deliver. Was usually a part of the WrestleMania weekend, but they decided to give it its own weekend, which I don't necessarily hate. I think being tucked away in the afternoon doesn't really do NXT a lot of service. And I think them having their own standalone, and apparently the venue that they're going to be at is very cool, a cool venue. I think them having their WrestleMania Stand and Deliver on its own night, there's no other wrestling that can, it's not going to get lost in the shuffle of things. I think for the product of NXT and for the guys and girls that wrestle, I think that this is a better outcome for them, and I think they deserve it. They worked their asses off to
You know
get
what I
this
think?
moment. So,
Honk, honk, honk. Kyle Shaw's in the chat,
Yes,
dude. We
I
haven't
did see
seen
that.
our
Honk, honk,
Canadian Goose, baby.
yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you felt about that, Stone, because it was kind of a last minute decision to throw it on its stand. Maybe that does help sales. Maybe there's like you said, JPJ, more eyes on the prize there. I've been loving the 2.5 hour long NXT pay-per-views. I think they do a great job of keeping them tight and just throwing it on it, and you get to go. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, I think it's a great decision. Honestly, I don't think it's bad. I think that, like you said, it being tucked away, like at noon on WrestleMania weekend, I think it was more of a detriment than anything else, because especially for the people that were actually at WrestleMania, because it's like, oh my God, like, do I go to Stand and Deliver? Like, then I have like 30 minutes maybe afterwards to get to the venue that WrestleMania is at. Some people don't even remember that it's on because of how busy of a weekend it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's also in Vegas, so that like the wrestlers'
the call time is like 5 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It's crazy. So I think that, and it's not like, it's not WrestleMania weekend, but it's still WrestleMania season. I mean, WrestleMania is only 3 weeks away, so it's still right around here. I think it works out great for NXT, for the talent involved. I think it gives them their own weekend, and now they can actually do what the name of the event is, and that's Stand and Deliver. They can stand on their own and deliver a proper show instead of just being some background event in the middle of the day, WrestleMania weekend.
Yep, I agree. We have 6 matches on the main card, 7 in total. There is a pre-show match, which is a 10-person mixed tag, which is Hank and Tank.
Fucking Shiloh Hill.
I was going to say Pluggo's favorite, Shiloh Hill, EK Prosper, and Ren Sinclair taking on the Birthright, which is Lexus King, Channing, Stax Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Uriah Connors, and Ariana Grace. I like that little faction. I like the gimmick of that faction, the Birthright. They're all second or third gen. They had parents in the biz. I like that. But we'll discuss the main card here. 5 out of the 6 matches are championship matches. Pluggo, Big Dog in the chat is saying he loves Shiloh.
Listen, it's not that I don't love or hate you. He's very confusing to me. He's very like, I don't know how to handle the guy. And I know that that's his gimmick. I get it. I'm just saying, for my brain, I can't understand how that man functions, and it drives me nuts.
Fair. That's fair. We will start with the tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. It is the Vanity Project. Swipe Right. I don't know why they don't call him that much. I love Swipe. What that is. Listen, I love a good punny tag team name, like just a good tag team name. In today's culture, current times, Swipe Right is one of the better modern tag team names I've heard of. And I don't like how they call them more. I get it. The group is the Vanity Project. They should. Swipe Right is a great tag team name. But anyway, my boy.
Have you ever swiped right?
Yeah, I mean, I that's why I think it's great. Everybody,
your boy Gronk said you should swipe right for everyone, cast a bigger net,
maybe,
then be selective. Because if you're swiping left, then you're lessening your opportunities.
It's okay to be picky.
I thought it was a rule for guys to always swipe right, because we only get like 2 likes a year anyway.
It's true. Yeah.
That's what Gronk is saying. He's like, you keep going because you don't want to lessen your,
the statistics are you get like one match for every like 5,000 swipes or something absurd.
And then you send like 2 sentences to each other, and then they ghost you, and then you're back to swiping again.
And that's it. That's it.
Is that how that works?
But Ricky Smokes, former chaotic heavyweight world champion. I was there when he won it. Anyway, the Vanity Project defending, who I love the whole group, defending against Los Americanos, who won a little mini number 1 contenders tournament.
Your boys.
They defeated the Culling. And then they defeated the Birthright in the championship of the tournament, which happened on Tuesday. I assume the Vanity Project, this is the new young hit group that I think they are fully pushing.
Apparently we all suck.
Apparently we do. Well,
I absolutely suck at Tinder. I swiped right on Mrs. Pluggo. I'm good.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I actually didn't swipe right on her. I met her at a bar like a classy gentleman.
There we go.
She just gave me the dirtiest look because she's over here doing something.
You know who doesn't suck at Tinder is Bravo Americano.
That's
that
true.
man has style.
I bet that dude rakes.
Derek Jeter-esque.
I mean, have you seen his dance moves?
Yes.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
I've
noticed in the NXT lore, in the NXT universe, they are over as
they're
fuck.
over.
On the main roster, they're getting booed because they're doing the whole cheating Chad Gable thing.
Well, that's because
Chad Gable thing. You're right.
That's because the average fan who watches the main shows most of them are fucking stupid, and don't understand entertainment.
That's fair.
And you see like the Americanos in like AAA. I mean, El Grande is like John Cena down there, and now that energy from AAA is translating onto NXT, and the Americanos are becoming massively over. I'm going to say it. I think the Americanos should win the tag team titles here, even if it's a super short run. Vanity Project can win the titles back the next week. Who cares? Mm-hmm. But the Americanos are over right now, and they have got momentum. I say give them that. Let's ride with that momentum for a little bit. The Vanity Project, they're going to be around, and the thing about that group is you love to hate them. Because I think they remind you, like everybody has had those people when they were in school that like those guys remind you of. You're like, oh, those fucking assholes. You know what I mean? We all knew people like that in school. And nobody liked them. So you want to see them lose. And with the Americanos being as over as they are right now, I say give them the belts.
I wouldn't hate it. That'd be fun. It'd be fun. They are super over down there, Pluggo. Like they show up.
Yeah. And to Stone's credit, and to his point, like they took what we all, is not the greatest gimmick for those guys, like, and they've made it and they've worked at it, and it's become this thing. And you're right, like Vanity Project is a group that I love. I can't believe I say I like these guys because they are guys that I wouldn't want to, you know what I mean?
It's a good group. It's a
good group, and they're young enough where you could be like, they could play off the angle of like, hey, that was your first title defense, and this is NXT, man. You guys have to be, and then like we'll win it back next week. So yeah, I could see that, but I'm sticking with the Vanity Project, my man. I'm not going with you on this one, Stone.
Yeah.
Dude.
I would love to see it. I think that would actually be a great pop of the night with the Americanos winning the tag belts. I think it would be the
Big Dog says trying. No, they doing it, dog. They stealing.
Yeah.
Brad Naylor's like, sup.
Yeah. With that goofy Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut that he has. Unbelievable. Yeah. But I like the Vanity Project. They got a bright future ahead of them. Big time. Those guys. So I'm going to stick with them as well. But I would not hate the Americanos stealing one. Because I look at this, and I'm looking throughout the night, and I'm like, how many of these – there's 5 title matches, and I'm like, how many of these titles are actually going to change hands? And I feel like the tag team one could be one that it's like, okay, like that's fine. Yeah, like that's a good change. That's fine.
And it would get a big pop. People would love it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about the NXT Women's North American Championship. It is Tatum Paxley against Blake Monroe, a singles match. Tatum Paxley coming in as the champion, defending. This has gotten, tell me what you feel about this build, guys. I know they're kind of, Tatum Paxley has been like creepy, but like in the babyface kind of way. And Blake Monroe is, I'm still waiting for Blake Monroe to get vicious. Like I know it's WWE and they don't do vicious and but I'm waiting for that element of Blake Monroe where she gets vicious inside the ring. Inside the ring, she gets vicious. I feel like Tatum Paxley is someone she could do that with. But this is a regular singles match, so obviously there's only so much you can do without, losing the match. But Pluggo, is Blake gonna get the title back? here.
Can she lose another one of these matches?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like she's lost a lot.
I keep seeing the if Tatum could lose it to Blake and then Tatum can go to the main roster, but I think Blake is not long for that either. So I'm kind of in a weird spot where I go, I don't know what you do with either one of them when they lose. Somebody's got to lose. I think Tatum would be the one to take the loss here because I think Blake needs that signature moment. It's Stand and Deliver. Boom, we put the North American Championship on her. She does that vicious side where it's not even a super competitive match. I could see them putting her on the map here, Stand and Deliver.
I go back to the moment of Blake Monroe was never supposed to lose that title in the first place.
That too.
And if that botch wouldn't have happened, I guarantee you right now, Blake Monroe would still be the champion. Probably. So because of that, I think that the plan was always to eventually put that title back on Blake Monroe, and I think this is where it happens. So my man Big Dog in the chat will be happy to know that I'm picking Blake Monroe to win the title here.
He said, "Let's go, Blake Monroe." She never lost it.
Well,
listen,
she did.
Technically, she did. And Thea Hale, I thought Thea Hale deserved better off of that botch, but
I'm in agreement with Stone, though. I do think this will be another short-ish title reign for Tatum Paxley, though. I feel like the world title reign was short, and now this title reign would be kind of shortish. But I think either one of these, I think that Blake Monroe is somebody who, if they really wanted to, upon her arrival, I don't think she needed to go to NXT. I think it would have worked if they brought her right to the main roster. I also look at her the same way I looked at a Jordan Grace and been like, I don't think that she's long for NXT. I think it's really just kind of get used to how we do things under this company, and then we're going to bring you up to the main roster. So I think she's going to win the title, but if she loses, I would think she would just that's it. She comes right up, and it's like, okay, we just gave you your almost a year or so down there, and now we're ready after post-Mania to bring you up here, type of thing. But I am in agreement with you guys. I think Blake Monroe is going to win the title back. I do. All right, this one here, grudge match, the only non-title match on the show. Former best friends, former tag team partners, ZaRuca going one-on-one with ZaRuca. Pluggo, I know on our socials, you put it out there about a week ago or so where you said, whose team are you on? Yeah. Team Soul or Team ZaRuca? I'm Team ZaRuca all the way in this one. Not just who I'm picking to win, but I just think in general, I'm on her. I think I'm on Team ZaRuca. Stone, I don't know what you're. Listen, I like both these women. I do, but I think ZaRuca is another one that she's been main roster now.
It's not an eye roll in disagreement, and it's an eye roll of I'm shockingly in agreement, even though I love ZaRuca. ZaRuca is one of my absolute favorites, but looking at it in the world of kayfabe, which I love to do. I wish more people would do that instead of looking at this stuff like a wannabe producer. I think that you watch the story and you go, Zari is kind of right. Soul is kind of selfish, and kind of a gaslighter. And I think I'm on Team ZaRuca, even though I love ZaRuca. I think Zari is in the right. However, I do think Soul wins. I think that this is not the end of this feud because it is a normal match, and this is far too personal to end in a normal match. I think ZaRuca is going to be kicking the shit out of Soul, and then Soul is going to somehow steal the victory with a quick roll-up pin or something, and Zari is going to be livid that Soul got the better of her. And then they'll continue the story, man, you didn't beat me, you just survived me at Stand and Deliver.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
There you go.
Pluggo.
So you're taking Soul. I got ZaRuca. I was taking ZaRuca. I'm Team ZaRuca, so I'm going to roll with it. I'd like to see Soul put her over if eventually she was leaving. But Stone, you sold me a ticket there. I'm thinking that possibly we could run this back somewhere and do another match out of it. But I liked the build up to this until the last couple of weeks, where clearly it was like, all right, here's what I really thought that this was going to be for the NXT Championship. And then Zarya was going to get her crowning moment, and then that's where you did it. But now that you said it, it's just a normal singles match. And then, in theory, it's a great idea to call all these people up to the main roster, but we still need to. There would be some holes, some noticeable holes if we made that decision. So, yeah, I'm sticking with Zarya.
Yeah,
so ZaRuca, and you're gaslighting my girl like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
don't want to piss anybody off. Sorry,
I'm leaning Zarya. I'm leaning Zarya as well. We have that post-Mania call-up season where a few of these people get called up, and ZaRuca has already had a few matches on the main roster, and she was like immediately over. And the crowd was like, yeah, we want, so I kind of view her as right after Mania, if you're calling up a few people, like she's has to be on that short list, like actual short list. And I think her putting over Zarya and Zarya kind of being like the big, massive heel in the women's division down there, ideally as champion at some point. That's what I want. I would like to see that with Zarya soon, is her just kind of being the next, because Jacy Jayne is another one to me, and we're going to talk about her in a little bit. She's another one to me that could go up to the main. I feel like she's been main roster ready for a few years even. So when I think about, all right, who's that next person? And, she's in the match with one of them as well, Kendall Gray, which we'll talk about. Like, I think of Zarya as that big monster heel that someone like a babyface like Kendall Gray is trying to chase for the championship. And I feel like that is kind of where I would like to see them. And I think Zarya winning this feud, and maybe it is an extra match. Maybe, we get a match 3 weeks down the line on a actual Tuesday night as the main event, and it's a falls count or some brutal match, and that's where Zarya gets the win, and Soul that's her swan song or something like that. But I'm leaning Zarya. I think this would be a big win for Zarya, a big win. But I think that match has potential to steal the show. I really think it has potential to steal the show. Both those girls are excellent. All right. We have NXT North American on the men's side. We have Miles Bourne defending against, at one point, Mr. NXT. He won a gauntlet match.
Correct. Candice LeRae won a gauntlet match. Put some respect on Candice's name.
We love Candice LeRae around here. That's fair.
She won that thing for Johnny. Johnny should be kissing her feet tonight.
Maybe he is.
He's getting a shot at some NXT.
All I know is you want to talk about show-stealing matches. I think this match will steal the show. I think
very good. Very good.
If there's one thing Johnny Gargano can do, especially in NXT, it is steal the show. I mean, there's a reason he was called Johnny Takeover, and this is going to, I think the story that's going to be told in this match is going to be phenomenal too, because the broken Gargano that we've been seeing the last couple of months weirdly has kind of gotten over with people. Like Johnny has been so dedicated to it that people are like starting to kind of like, we're enjoying it and being like, oh, we want to see Gargano get back to being Gargano. And what better way to do that than to go back to NXT and deliver a show-stealing performance. And what I imagine will happen is over the course of this match, you will start to see Johnny find himself again, realizing like, oh shit, I still am Johnny Takeover. I do think, and I'm a massive Johnny Gargano fan, and when this match was announced, my excitement for being at this event live, like, shot through the roof, because I was a huge Black and Gold fan. NXT.
Oh yeah.
But I never got to go to an NXT Takeover event.
Ooh, okay.
So being able to see Johnny Takeover at an NXT PLE now is going to take me back to those Black and Gold days and kind of like give me that feeling that because I never got to be there for one of those. So, and as much as I would love to see Gargano win the title here, I do think Miles will retain the belt, but I think that the bigger story coming out of this match will be Johnny refinding himself.
Yeah. Do you think Johnny is going to stay in NXT for a little bit, or do you think he finds himself and then they continue it on SmackDown? Like, I think Johnny's one of those guys that if he went down to NXT, even if it's just for a few months, I feel like obviously he's going to, on SmackDown, they've been leaning into this character of him, lying down and planking and doing that thing. And it is starting to get over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think a small little run in NXT would kind of give him a jolt, or do you think this is just kind of a one-off and then we just kind of continue things on the main roster?
It's interesting because it depends on, because in NXT he's going to be looked at as a babyface regardless. Like Miles Bourne, I know he's liked, but let's face it, in NXT he's not going to be the one that's getting cheered in this match.
Yeah,
Gargano's
royalty.
The crowd, Gargano. I mean, it's like it is the equivalent of in the NXT universe. It is the equivalent of facing John Cena.
Yeah,
The crowd is going to be all over wanting Gargano to win the title here. Mm-hmm. So
not only that, they're going to be all over getting him to get to Johnny Takeover status, because he even said it on Tuesday. I'm not there yet. You better hope I don't find myself in the middle of this match on Saturday. So the crowd is going to be fully. It's going to be. It's going to be a scene.
That promo. I mean, that maybe you let Gargano win the title here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because like that promo Johnny cut on Tuesday, where like you just said, he looked at Miles Bourne and he goes, you better pray that I don't find that guy, because if I do, I will take you into deep waters, and I promise I will drown you.
Yep.
Like you're not ready to face Johnny Takeover.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's going to be an intriguing match for sure.
Yeah. Pluggo, what are you thinking about this one?
Oh man, I'm torn on this one. I think more so than others, because again, I think we could do far worse than like this summer of Johnny Gargano and NXT, right? Like just you got nothing for him on the main roster right now. Let him run through and have that North American Championship run and help develop some of this younger core that they've got in NXT, which I think has a lot of potential. But you need somebody to guide them, because it's kind of like the NBA basketball team. It's great to have all the young and up and coming guys, but you need like a veteran guy in there to kind of show them the ropes a little bit. So I could lean, and I think Miles Bourne, he's cool, but is this a long reign? This could be one of those where he flips the switch to heel, because he's been teetering on that heel thing a little bit, where he's like, I'm willing to go the extra mile. Well, now you have to, because you just got bested by one of the best, and you could run it back. So I'll go ahead. I'm gonna go big. Johnny Takeover. I think he's a fine. I think he's gonna get it done. I'm gonna go for it here. Let's go. Don't let me down, Gargano. He did a whole stream where he just planked. It didn't do anything, and everybody loved it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I would love Johnny Gargano to win it, but I am gonna lean with Miles Bourne retaining. I know.
L's in the chat. Chat.
Sorry. That's where I'm going as well. But it would be fun. To get a nice little impromptu run, really. I don't think this was really expected to Gargano to be the guy down there. So in this match, at least. So that's a lot of fun. All right. We have a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. It is Jacy Jayne defending against Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. This should be a really good one. Jacy Jayne has just been really good for a very long time. She's really been the glue of the women's division down there for the better part of 1.5 to 2 years now. But are we approaching the end of the Jacy Jayne kind of heavy? I know she's lost it for a small little amount of time, but is this the end? Is Lola Vice or Kendall Gray going to break through? I know Kendall Gray has really risen up the ranks very, very quickly because of just how good she is. And Lola Vice has been flirting around a world championship victory for a long, getting to that level. That was low. What do we think, Pluggo? Do we think this is the end of Jacy Jayne's title reign, or do we think she's going to keep on trucking?
Yes, I do. I actually do. But I say that going full well that if anybody can find a way to keep that title, it's Jacy Jayne. She always figures out a way every time she comes up with an answer. But you're starting to see more and more like Fallon Henley is not really jiving with the Jacy Jayne. You know, she kind of has it. So I think maybe this is where Fallon breaks away from her a little bit. Kendall Gray has been like, I think you put a rocket ship to her. Lola's great, but I think it's Kendall's moment. I think you solidify her as your top star, one of your top stars. I'm going with Kendall Gray here. I'm going big. Stone, I don't think he's in agreement. He's looking like he's good. What are you thinking?
I agree and I disagree.
Going with Lola?
I think that Kendall Gray is going to be champion, but it's not going to be here. I think the fact that this is a triple threat match means Jacy's going to retain the title. I think that if Kendall is going to win that championship, it's going to be in a one-on-one match where she truly gets her moment. I feel like a triple threat match, especially the way that it went down, is made for Jacy to steal the moment from Kendall and retain the championship. Like, Kendall will have Lola beaten, Jacy comes in real quick, throws her out, steals the pin, retains the title, and then you can lead up to that inevitable Kendall Gray, Jacy Jayne one-on-one match where Kendall does win the title. But right here, especially with so many other matches on the card where I feel like the likelihood of a title change is far more prominent, I just see Jacy retaining here to advance the Kendall storyline.
Fair. Yeah, I agree. I think Jacy Jayne is going to hang on to it just for a little bit longer. I do think Kendall Gray will get her moment a little bit later on, maybe next big show or a couple big shows from now. Look at you. I think it's apparent with the crowd reaction and just the way that she's kind of rose up the ranks, with the rocket to her, that she is without question going to be the cornerstone of the division whenever she wins that belt, that she's going to be the one that they're behind as their main babyface champion. And sadly, I mean, look, it's never a bad thing to be in a championship match, but Lola Vice is probably here to take the pinfall from Jacy Jayne, most likely. Which, again, not the worst spot to be in. You're in a championship match, but yeah, I think that's probably what we're getting with Jacy Jayne, kind of sneaking a victory. The good old Kendall looks like she's going to pin Lola Vice, and Jacy Jayne comes in and hits her with the elbow or throws her out or whatever and kind of sneaks a retain.
Chat, remember this moment when I say I told you so.
Hey, listen, I'm all
when I FaceTime Stone Payne while he's in the building and I go, told you so. Just as Big Doug says, you don't like great graps, bro. You don't like great graps, but we're gonna find out on Saturday.
Yeah. And then we have another multi-person match. Both championship matches are multi-person.
Yeah, they were let's get everybody on there.
Yeah, this one is a fatal four-way. It is the champion, Joe Hendry, defending against Ethan Page, Tony D'Angelo, and Ricky Saints. We saw a summit with these four gentlemen on Tuesday. It was fine. I thought it was all right. It's never easy when you basically lose the three cornerstones of your men's division, for the last year and a half with Oba, Trick, and Javon so quickly back to back to kind of scramble to get some excitement. I like all of the I specifically like Ricky Saints and Ethan Page a lot. I do like Joe Hendry, and I don't know how I feel about the new Tony D character, really, but I like Tony D. I think he's actually underrated a little bit in the ring. He's a really good big man. But there's not a lot of juice for me when it comes to this match a little. Like I'm not real super excited. I think it'll be a fine to good match. But I'm not this is, of the 6 matches on the main card, this is probably in the bottom half of matches I'm most excited for, is this World Championship match. I don't know if that's just because of the current state, like they're figuring out what their men's division kind of looks like moving forward a little bit. I'm just kind of there. I do think Joe Hendry will retain. That's where I'm leaning, that Joe Hendry will retain here. But it's a fatal four-way. Anything can happen. I don't know who to me, Ricky Saints and Ethan Page walked in the door as main roster ready guys, but I don't know. I don't know, but I'm picking Hendry to retain, but I'm just not real super excited about this.
Well, let me ask you, do you think this match is the main event or does something else headline? Because I actually agree with you. I think that I think the match itself will be really good. I think everybody in this match is a phenomenal talent, and it'll be a barn burner. But I think from a storyline perspective, there are other matches on the show that people will be more invested in. So do you have this close the show, or do you close the show with something else?
If the ZaRuca Zarya match was a stip match, like for
the title,
for the title, I would have had that main event. But the fact that it's just like the only singles match on the show that is not for a title, I don't think you do that. If you're not going to have this main event, it should be the triple threat with the women for the title. I feel like this will main event though. But again, I look at this card and I'm looking. There's 6 main matches. This is probably.
They love the
this might be the match I'm least excited for, to be honest with you.
Could we see a situation where Ethan Page and Ricky Saints both pin Joe Hendry and they go, "Oh, I don't know who gets the. We'll have to have this. We'll settle this. We'll settle this."
Yeah, is that a route you want to go though for your biggest show of the year?
No, but
I feel like that's that would be that's not a WrestleMania-esque finish, and that's what you're doing here. This is their WrestleMania.
Yeah, I will say this though. Up until Tuesday, I was really leaning towards Ricky Saints figuring out a way to win this thing. But Tony D really sold me when he said, like, I am the NXT like day one guy. You guys are all outsiders who are, I've been here this long, and I think that they might go with Tony D and like give him like a crowning like a moment here. Because he has been here for a long time. We forget he's been here in NXT for a long time.
He was in 2.0. He was the 2.0.
Yeah, he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to throw a crazy prediction out there that I think will shock people considering the storyline that we just saw. And there was a segment on NXT that made me think of this. I think Tony D wins the title. But I think he wins the title because Dark State helps him win the title.
Ooh.
So he's your pick. You're picking Tony
D
to
win. On purpose helps, or like okay.
They help him win the title because there was a segment on NXT where Dark State was like, what do we do? And then one of them said like, well, I've got an idea and I've got a plan for Stand and Deliver. And like even NXT posted about like, what is Dark State's intentions? What are their plans for Stand and Deliver? Ooh. But they don't have a match on the show. And if you're looking at the entire card, you're like, well, where would they fit in? And we just had an entire storyline where Tony D's whole thing was trying to take down Dark State. So what a swerve it would be if all of a sudden like they run in and you're thinking they're there to screw Tony D out of the win. And then all of a sudden they lay out everybody else in the match. Tony D wins the title and like he's the new head of Dark State.
Wouldn't hate it. I mean, the
friend of my friend become my enemy type. Yeah. Like they become, how's that saying go? An enemy of my friends. They just become friends. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't.
That was a good try.
I'm not a philosopher. It's getting late. What do I know?
Yeah. No, I would not hate that. I feel like because it is that there's something big is going to happen at the end of this show, and a new champion would do that. And I think Dark State to me is a group that I feel like ever since they first debuted, we've been saying, all right, I thought it was going to be Trick Williams when they first debuted was going to be the leader. And I was like, who's going to be the leader of this group? And they haven't really had a leader of the group, and they've been tag team champions and stuff, but I feel like they really haven't, I don't know. I don't really know what Dark State does, like where they belong in the hierarchy of the show. Really? And I feel like they're one of the only factions on the show. They should be near the top of the show. And the only way to do that is to give them an actual leader, like an actual like top of the card leader.
Yeah.
And Tony D, especially with the other guy being out injured. There's only
I love how you said the other guy. Name that guy. You can't.
He's the token white. He's the only one. He's the white guy. I don't know.
You could put a gun to my head and be like, I need you to name all 4 members of Dark State. And I'd be like, Dion.
I like his
the
shit.
sugar guy, and that's it.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny. I like his shtick, but he's really hurt. So there's only been 3 of them for a little bit here. You can get kind of back to that. And I think Tony D is the only guy in this match that would be that guy.
Yeah.
Cutler
Well,
James.
and it does the thing. He said he's coming back. He wants to destroy Dark State, win the NXT Championship. He could win the NXT Championship. He destroyed Dark State, but he rebuilds him in his image and then runs roughshod over NXT with that new group and with a new refound. And then you also have, if you wanted to, the Dion Lennox kind of wanting to break out and be a single star, having that, like, are we really going to listen to this guy? Like, kind of like back and forth thing. And then that sets you up a title match down the line as well. So there's a lot of good there.
It seems like of the guys in Dark State, Dion Lennox, the way he's presented, it seems like if you were to pick a, like, he's the most, like, he's the guy that's been in the matches when they've represented in championship singles matches. And so it seems like he could be the guy that eventually they want to be like the break off baby face of this group.
Yep.
And if you have a new guy like a Tony D or someone of that ilk who has that background, I've been here, you know who I am, you know what I'm about, and now I'm the leader of this group. And Dion Lennox is like, no, motherfucker, you walked in here, and this was supposed to be me calling the shots, and then it turns into that's a fun way to do it.
I just think the swerve of them helping him win the title and that being the final shot of Stand and Deliver is the biggest thing that you could end this show with. Because you need something big to end this show and to make this match more interesting.
And Vic Joseph being like, what does this mean for NXT Tune It Tuesday?
Yes.
Like, just that shuck it, duck it, quack, quack.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well.
We did it.
I mean, Stand and Deliver should be good. I think it's really gonna, the matches on this card, like, there's a lot of really good wrestling matches on this show. Even the multi-person matches, there's a lot of good talent and wrestlers on the show. I'm expecting this to be a really, really good show on Saturday night. I'm jealous you will be in the building. I'm excited that you'll be in the building. And Pluggo and I were excited that you spent over 2 hours with us here tonight.
Yeah,
we ran a little bit over.
Good conversation.
But it was great conversation. The chat was on fire tonight. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks
hopefully you had a great time. We can do this again. We can run it on your side of things. You can come back here. It's open door policy. So,
Yeah. Hopefully the much anticipated debut was worth it.
I had an absolute blast. It was a great conversation. I will be at Stand and Deliver, and then I will be in Vegas for WrestleMania.
So you'll have weeks. Yeah, so you're going to have a lot of content, I'm sure, coming. So why don't you let the people in the chat know where they can find your content, how your schedule, kind of where they can find you on these interwebs.
Stone Payne Productions on mainly TikTok. That's the backbone of everything I do. Also X, Facebook, Instagram, close to over 20,000 followers on TikTok. So hopefully I might be able to get there this weekend. It seems like whenever I go to these live shows, that boost always helps. Busy schedule coming up. Obviously this weekend, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania in Vegas. I'm going to be going to Backlash in Tampa. Then I'm going to be headed to Saturday night's main event in Fort Wayne, so I'm going to be a busy man the next couple of months.
Heck yeah.
That's a good life to live, my man.
Yeah, it is. It is a good life to live.
You get to crack Wells Mania in the head with the blood floor signs.
Yeah. We're in a real good part. You look at it, if the next 3 weeks, you got Stand and Deliver this Saturday night. For the AEW heads, next Sunday night or next Saturday night, you got Dynasty, and then the week after is 2 nights of WrestleMania. So the next 3 weeks, us wrestling fans are eating pretty good.
Lots of caffeine.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop. It feels like there's big shows just almost every week. It feels like so. Pluggo, why don't you do the damn thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it proper because we have a lot of new people in the chat that came to support Stone. Hopefully, you like what we do here. Shout out to Dylan Sean for all the super chats. Shout out to all the conversations. If you want to know what we've got going on as a show page, it's at B2Beards on all social media. So go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, that follow button over there, and you'll know what we got going on. Like JPJ said, the road to WrestleMania. We got some things coming up. We're going to announce some guests coming up to talk about things WrestleMania related. So at B2Beards on all socials. If you want more of what I do, I am Pluggo on all social media platforms. You search Pluggo, my face pops up. I was at the Squared Circle Expo with Stone. All of my content that I got from that Friday night is up on all those channels now. So search Pluggo right there. Every Saturday, I'm with Blair Pacheco doing 4 Exposure. This weekend we'll be there at 4 o'clock. So go to app 4 Exposure Pod for more of the independent wrestling scene if that's your bag. And then all of the things that I write are up on lovewrestling.ca as well. And since we have a bunch of new people in here may not know, we are on Love Wrestling CA on all social medias as well. So go search them. It's been awesome to see some new faces in the chat, the old faces. It's been a great day. Great day here for Beards.
It has. Y'all can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. I also have a Twitch where I stream playing video games multiple times a week. Sports games mainly, but we have a good time there. Obviously, right here every Thursday night to our new friends in the chat, 8 p.m. Eastern time between 2 Beards with my main squeeze Pluggo here, the flagship show right here on Love Wrestling. Wednesday nights after AEW Dynamite, you can find me on Body Slam Net, where I do Dynamite Up, the post show after Dynamite. And then Sunday afternoons at noon Eastern, me and my pal Auntie Collins over on Fightful Overbooked have a show called Coast to Coast, where we talk about pro wrestling, pro sports, kind of a little bit of everything. It's a big potpourri of a show. So that's where you can find me. Once again, Stone, thank you for taking the time joining us tonight. We were very excited to finally get you on here. It was a great conversation. It was a lot of fun. All the people that came in new tonight, Dylan for the super chats, like Pluggo said, and all our new friends. We are here live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Give us a follow at Love Wrestling. We also have an independent wrestling company, Love Pro Wrestling, that runs the last Friday of the month on YouTube. Great independent wrestling. It's just a tremendous stuff. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Stone. And we will do this again real soon, I hope.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you are new here, this is what we do at the end of the show. Everybody needs to say hi to Sue, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.
Sue.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you 2 Beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Oh, or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves. Knock it off.